Hello and welcome to Vikram Loves to Freelance. In one of my last, previous videos, I'd actually spoken about, my financial goals from freelancing for 2013. Now, I would like to speak about my non-financial goals, not particularly from freelancing, but in the context of freelancing. Because what happens is, as you freelance, it's pretty much something which takes up your entire life, so to say, and that's where you know other things which you want to aspire for or achieve in life, they're also they eventually become intertwined with the fact that you freelance. So therefore, few things which I'll speak about. See, I'm by and large a simple guy, and I'm not a very complex and too many. I don't meander too much in terms of I need this, I need that, I want to achieve this, I want to achieve that. I'm more or less I'm simplistic, and I think when I speak about non-financial goals per se, I think one of the key constituents of my non-financial goals would be travel. I would love to travel this year, to some extent at least, and let's see. I think I'll start with the fact that I'd love to go to Thailand, say by hopefully, if not say this month, but next month between say Feb, March, April. April is Songkran. I was there in, I don't know if you've heard of it. There's this festival called Songkran, and they celebrate in April. They're throwing water, chalk powder, chalk, liquid chalk, chalk paste on everyone. I was there last time, and I've been to Thailand many times, and I love the place. It's first of all, it's so close from here, just about a 3 or 4 hour flight. I've been there more than 6, 7 times, 8 times. I've been there already, and yet I don't. Of course, the first thought will be, oh, for those nudge nudge, wink wink kind of things. But that's the girly fun. So, but that's not true. It's a place which you really enjoy, irrespective of that. Beautiful weather, yes, beautiful, nice girls that whose company you can enjoy. But other than that, also, the whole party scene and everyone's relaxed, having fun, the touristic atmosphere and ambience, that is so good. I really like it, and it's not very expensive. Yes, people think and people have this notion that, oh, it's so cheap and it's absolutely inexpensive. That is not true. And not everything is inexpensive, and especially when you compare, say, the Indian rupee to the Thai baht. There was a time when you could actually get two Thai baht for one Indian rupee. Now you need two Indian rupees for one Thai baht, almost. Not exactly, but it's like for one Thai baht you need about 1.8 Indian rupees. So it's nearly double. So how times have changed, how much the Indian rupee has depreciated, or maybe the Thai baht is appreciated, whichever way it is. So that's one goal which I would like to achieve in the short term. And in summer, which would be say between May, June, or maybe June, July, August, that period, I really would like to go to Europe. I've been to Europe. I've been to, I'll tell you, I've been to Germany, I've been to France, I've been to Poland, I've been to Austria, I've been to Slovakia. So I've been to, it's not like I've been not been there at all, but there are countries which I've not been and I really would like to go. Number one on my list is Italy. I really would like to go. I've seen and heard and read about it so much, but I've not been to Italy. And somehow, it's not like I didn't have opportunities. I could have, but this whole notion that, oh, traveling to visa on a tourist, Schengen visa, you can easily travel to all 25, 27 odd countries which are included in that single visa. It's easier said than done, trust me. And one of the primary reasons is cost. Because, okay, see, first of all, yes, the European countries are small, and it's like, you can, like, if I take Poland as an example, I've pretty much seen almost all of it. I've crisscrossed the country. I've seen so many of those different cities and towns. So I've seen a lot of it. But Slovakia was another small little country where I had this wonderful friend from there. She used to we used to work together while I was doing like this full time job thingy and all. So that's one country which I really had in my mind, and I finally did go there, and had a good time. In Austria, I loved Vienna. It's so beautiful, and there's so much of history and culture. France, I especially enjoyed Paris so much, and I remember New Year under the Eiffel Tower. That was really wonderful. So these things, these experiences I've had, and so Italy is one country which I've not been to. And see, apart from cost, another factor which I'll tell you is that, which is related to freelancing, and that's why I'll pick it up, is that when you work this way on Elance and all these sites, believe me, this whole notion of being able to work freely from anywhere, it's very relative. Trust me, it is very relative. Like with me, what happened is, once I was in a particular place in Poland, it was not so easy for me to just walk out from there and just travel anywhere. Trust me, it was not so easy. I was largely in a place not very far from what used to be this Treblinka concentration camp, so not very far from there, about 120 odd kilometers from Warsaw, and I happened to be in that town for personal reasons, and so I spent a lot of time there. And yeah, so that's what I wanted to say, that it's not so easy. When what happens is, you have access to the internet and you have these projects going, you can't just get up and leave, that okay, now I need to travel. I need to constantly work and deliver. And that's where I, as a person, I'm really trying hard that I can come out of this time bound delivery onto something which generates income for me, even while on the go. Say I have so many videos and so many articles already on the internet which generate an X amount of money, which is fairly very good. Say anywhere between 100 to say about $300 a day or so, if they can generate, then no matter, I can be probably out all the time, and yet I know that they are working, and they are doing their job in terms of generating some income for me. Then I can holiday all the time, but I can't do that when you're working on these freelance sites. That is a major limitation, and that is something which you really need to keep in mind. So therefore, I could not, so besides the cost factor, even if money was not a factor, I could not just get up and, oh, I want to see this country, I want to see that country, because in Europe it's actually not that difficult, especially thanks to Eurail, and that whole provision of the whole country continent being so interconnected. It is easy. If you have the money and the time and the opportunity, you can travel to just about any or all of those countries which are included in your Schengen visa, and you can actually travel to some others as well. At least you can pass through them. And sometimes the fact that you have a Schengen visa gives you provision to actually get that entry into a non EU or non Schengen visa country as well. You can, that's what I've read about, that say Bulgaria, Romania, they're still not a part of Schengen, but I believe, and I've been told, I've read about this, that if you have a valid Schengen visa on your passport, if you're just entering Romania, you will be given a temporary if you're say passing by only, you will get a transit. If you're actually visiting, you can get probably a temporary, like a visa on arrival sort of thing. So, without digressing any further, I would say that yes, Italy is probably number one on my list. Number two is Spain. Spain is another country which I've not gone to, and I really want to go there. I want to go to Ibiza in particular. I want to see Madrid, Barcelona, and there's so much of beauty, and so much of so many things, and it's again nice and warm and sunny. And there was this Bollywood film, Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, and this La Tomatina festival, that whole tomatoes being thrown and people are literally dancing around on those tomatoes. And that's an experience which I also want to have. Of course, that doesn't happen throughout the year. I think it's probably in Feb or somewhere towards the beginning of the year. If I'm correct, that's when that happens. So that's something, if I cannot experience it in 2013, maybe I'll leave it for 2014. That's something which I would like to experience. If I cannot, at least still the experience of visiting Spain. Another country which I would really like to go is Greece. Greece is a country which I've heard and read about so many times. And Greece, believe me, I had this opportunity to go from Poland. I could have, see, because we were looking for these New Year tours, and New Year tours to say Greece, to Egypt, to France. They were all more or less the same in cost, and yet I'd rather, I wanted that Paris and that Eiffel Tower and all of that beauty and romance and that experience which I wanted to have. So for that I chose France and Paris, essentially Paris, but France in general for that purpose. So therefore, I really would like to go to Greece, and somehow coincidentally, as destiny would have it, I've come across a wonderful freelancing professional from Greece. She's been a source of immense inspiration. This is her channel, and she's doing very similar work in terms of she's also doing this whole freelancing and yet kind of sharing her thoughts and experiences. Her name is Angie, and I think right away coaching is what she's doing, and doing a wonderful job. And that's something also entices me, but believe me, it's above and beyond all that. My desire to go to Greece has been there for a long time. It's just that, as best as I understand, there are non-EU countries in between, and even, you have to kind of take a flight or whatever. That's immaterial. Trust me, it's immaterial, and those little logistical issues I can take care of. So that's something for the summer. Ideally, I would have liked to have gone to the US as well this year, but the way I'm looking at it so far, it'll probably be an either or situation. It'll not be like an and, or Europe and US. And see, one primary reason yet again is the cost factor, because see, the fares have increased so much. Now what used to be like, say, about 50,000 for a Delhi JFK flight, New York flight, would has escalated to about 80,000. So what used to be $1,000 has straight away gone up to about 1600 $1,600. So that's something which you need to think about. And beyond that, see, if I can arrange for 1,000, I can arrange for 1600 $1,600 as well. But beyond that, US is a country where if you're making so much of time, taking out that making so much effort to actually get there, you don't want to come back too soon. You want to spend ample time. And look at the size of the US. It is so big, unless you're actually spending some time, at least say if I go to the East Coast, I want to go to the West Coast also. Even if I stick to the East Coast, I definitely want to see more than, say, just New York and Washington. The least I would like to do is at least go down to Florida and enjoy Miami and beaches, and so at least that I would like to do. I'd love to go to at least, say to Texas, to Chicago, in the center of the country, and ideally go to Las Vegas and California. What happens is, if I include all of this in my plans, my most importantly would be the cost factor, because if time is, if the money is not a constraint, I can even pack everything in, say, in a month or so. But I can travel around all these places and at least have that experience of having been to all these places. So that's something I would really like to do, but I don't know. I know that's something very ambiguous, and I'm not finalizing anything that yes, that's gonna happen. So my travel would most likely be Thailand in the coming month or two, and Europe in summer. So that's my travel plan. Ideally, I would like that if US doesn't happen in say, because see, winter is pointless, so winter is not going to happen. If at all, US is to happen, it'll ideally happen in such a way that from here I head to Europe, and from Europe I head to US, not come back and then go again. So that way I'll save on my fares as well. And that, towards the end of the year, I would love to go to Australia and possibly New Zealand. That's, I believe, a good time. It's summer and nice and warm. I don't know if it's too warm and not good a time to go there. That I don't know. But if that is not the case, that I would love to do. And so that's pretty much my travel scheme of things. Beyond travel, I would love to, or I would at least, maybe not love to, but I would definitely think about the proposition of finally settling down personally in terms of getting married. See, I'm 32. Age wise, definitely I'm very much, maybe overaged. I don't know. Maybe because most of my contemporaries, my peers, they're married. And some of them have kids as well, some do not. In India, in fact, that's pretty late, but urban India is changing and evolving dramatically. There are a lot of people at my age who are yet to become parents, even if they are married. for personal, out of personal choice. It's not like any medical, issues with them, but completely out of personal choice. They're not having kids too soon. They want to, settle down for themselves. See, India and the West, I see a lot of difference on this front. In the West, there seems to be, I know I'm generalizing, I'm stereotyping, but by and large, people seem to be that, oh, let's just get married, let's just quickly have kids, we'll think about the financial aspects later. But it doesn't work here. Your financials, your basics have to be in place before you think of, marriage and kids and all that. So therefore, I don't know, let's see. I will not jump the gun. I feel I'm fine, I'm happy. I still look young enough, I guess, if not like an old man. I don't have gray hair as such, touch wood. I don't know if suddenly tomorrow I turn gray overnight, but as of now, I look decent enough. So let's see. That part I'll evaluate. And I particularly don't want to be with any, possessive, and I've had my share of those jealous and possessive kind of women. That's not the kind of, person or type of person that I want to be with. So, and see, believe me, when your financial and your work part is in place, getting married and settling down is not so difficult, especially for men. If that is in place, and especially on say an autopilot basis, wherein, not this elance kind of freelance work where you're under stress to deliver, client is waiting for work and all. But if they're on an autopilot basis, if there's a substantial income which is coming in regularly every month, every day, then you can easily get married, because you can spend your time on, say, your family, your wife and kids in due course, and not have to worry so much about, oh, the fact that I need to deliver work. So that's something. Other than that, I don't have too many, see, like I said, I'm a fairly simple guy. So I guess, these are pretty much my non-financial goals per se. I'll once I've, because this video is already stretched on for so long, so once I'm done with it, I'll probably think about if I have anything. So I'll either post in the description of this video, or in my, I'll put up a blog post on that, and you can read there. So either way, I'll definitely point you towards, say, the link to my blog post if I put it up. If not, you can just read the description, and there you'll have some any other, non-financial goals in the context of freelancing, which I have for this year in particular, and probably the years ahead. Cheers.